Today is April 18th, 2025, and welcome back here to another Weather on the Go weather forecast. My name is Hunter, and this evening update, we are going to be tracking more severe weather, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes, as well as the potential for some very heavy rainfall and flash flooding. We're also going to look long range into the last couple of weeks here of April to get you a diagnosis on the weather pattern. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for the most accurate, reliable weather information with daily videos here on this channel on YouTube. Also, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. Let's look here at the uptrend for Easter Sunday. There's an orange area here in eastern Missouri, western Illinois, and this is a level 3 out of 5, enhanced risk of severe weather on Easter Sunday, and it's all because we have a big trough across the western United States. As we go over the next 48 hours, it's going to be hanging out across the western U.S., bringing us some severe weather chances, but by the time we get to Easter Sunday, it's going to be ejecting towards the mid and upper Mississippi Valley, and this is going to be causing some problems here as it's going to be running in to some warm, moist, and unstable air there as we go into Easter Sunday. Here in the short term, we are monitoring severe weather today and this evening across portions from Michigan all the way back into northwest Texas here. And the biggest threats are going to be some very large, if not giant hail into Oklahoma, especially near the Oklahoma City metro, Lawton, Fort Sill, down there into Abilene and Wichita Falls. Those areas could be seeing up to softball size hail this evening. And that could be followed by the potential of some hurricane force wind gusts, 75, perhaps 80 miles an hour there in the Sooner State of Oklahoma. And then the potential is there for tornadoes stretching from Michigan all the way back into North Texas. A more focused area for tornado potential in the brown shaded color, that it's a 5% chance of tornadoes within a 25-mile point there from Tulsa generally all the way down toward Fort Sill, Lawton, and the Wichita Falls region in northwest Texas. So let's look at the timing for the storms going through the evening. This is 7 o'clock. Notice we got a couple of supercells that could be producing some really big hail into west central Oklahoma here at this point. Those will continue to develop and mature as they cross through central and then eventually eastern Oklahoma. We'll have additional storms developing up into Missouri and Illinois as well. They probably won't be producing as big of hail, but still a large hail threat there and some gustier winds and an isolated tornado threat as that 2% area of tornadoes extends up into this area. But the most significant severe weather overnight will be Oklahoma and North Texas. Be keeping an eye on the supercells. This is midnight. And notice a lot of these storms too are going to be training over the same area. So very heavy rainfall, torrential rainfall, going to be leading the potential for some flash flooding as these continue to rumble across the same areas from Illinois into Missouri, Oklahoma, and North Texas, going even into the wee hours of the morning on Saturday morning. Now let's look at the updraft helicity tracks. This is basically to show you the brighter the color, the stronger the updraft of a thunderstorm, and obviously the stronger the updraft, the stronger the storm could be, producing hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. Notice you have the bright reds, pinks, and purples down here in Oklahoma, so we're keeping a very close eye on south central Oklahoma and into northwest Texas. That's where the strongest signal is for those big updrafts that can produce those baseball, maybe even softball size hailstones, and then still some pretty decent signals here in northwestern Arkansas and in downstate Missouri and Illinois that could produce some quarter size, maybe ping pong ball size hail and some 60, 70 mile an hour winds here, maybe even an isolated tornado threat going through the rest of the night. Moving into tomorrow, we have another day of severe weather on Saturday, April 19th. The stretches mainly from Texas into southeast Oklahoma again, northwest Arkansas and southern Missouri with that slight risk of severe weather there in yellow. Dark green, that's a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk that extends along the Ohio River Valley there from Louisville up there towards Cincinnati, Columbus, and even as far east there as Pittsburgh in western portions of Pennsylvania. The biggest threats again will be back down here in Texas, where we could be seeing around the Abilene area and on southward some more baseball size hailstones from these storms. Also the 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, especially in that brown and yellow shaded color, and a localized tornado threat again across the Abilene region, Michigan, Dallas, Fort Worth, and southwestward there toward West Texas. Be keeping an eye on that. That's a 5% chance of tornadoes in the brown, a 2% chance of tornadoes in the dark green within a 25-mile radius on Saturday. So going into Saturday morning, we're still dealing with the remnant activity from this evening and overnight. That will be giving us more very heavy torrential rainfall, training thunderstorms over the same area, so flash flooding will be a concern there tomorrow morning. Then as we go into the midday hours, this is noon, still seeing some lingering showers and some rumbles of thunder. Severe weather at this point will be minimal, but then as we go into the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, more storms developing in central Oklahoma down there into central Texas. Those ones could be the new supercells that develop after 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Here we go to the 6, 7 o'clock hour, and you see numerous supercells developing from Oklahoma down into Texas. Those could be producing those very large hailstones, again, baseball size perhaps, a couple of tornadoes, and some strong damaging straight line winds. And then of course the flash flooding risk. Notice the rainfall just continues to fall very heavily over the same areas here time and time again, not only for this evening and tonight, but also tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. And this is going to create a lot of saturated soil. So quick rises on creeks, streams, area rivers are going to be likely down here. And areas that may not normally flood could flood, because looking here at the updraft helicity, again, these storms are going to have some very strong updrafts. So as we go through the day tomorrow, hail, wind, and tornadoes, some very efficient rainfall producers. And as we go into Easter Sunday, the severe weather peaks as the trough ejects into the Mississippi Valley. We have a orange area. That's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk there in eastern Missouri and western Illinois. Slight risk from western Illinois all the way down into northeast Texas and northern parts of Louisiana, most of the state of Arkansas, including Little Rock in that as well. Looking here on Sunday, you can see a lot of rainfall continuing to move up there toward the Midwest. So if you're not in the severe weather risk, places like Iowa, like Des Moines, Madison, Wisconsin, Rockford, Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, areas that really aren't much in a severe risk, will see soaking rains as we go through the afternoon and evening there on Easter Sunday. And those rains will continue to spread northward into northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, most of the state of lower Michigan there, as well as the Ohio Valley like Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky. So widespread soaking rains up there too. But in general, going through the Easter weekend, this goes through Monday morning on April 21st, widespread heavy rains here. In the yellows, that's an inch or more of rain. In the orange and reds, that's 2 to 4 inches or more of rain. We zoom it in here, areas from St. Louis back through Springfield and Joplin, Missouri, here into Wichita, Kansas, Tulsa, Fort Smith, all the way back to Oklahoma City and Lawton, all the way down here to the Abilene area, Dallas, Fort Worth, for example, and Wichita Falls. Could be seeing widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain, isolated amounts higher than that, and that definitely could be causing some flash flooding over the weekend. There is a moderate risk for flash flooding from southwestern Illinois through southern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, into eastern portions of Oklahoma and North Texas, and this could be for some significant flash flooding. Areas that don't normally flood could in this type of situation, so we're keeping a very close eye on that. Let's look at our temperatures that we achieved this afternoon. We are actually into the low 80s all the way up into portions of Chicago, Indianapolis, and Detroit as well, so enjoying some summer-like, early summer-like warmth across these regions. Couple records were shattered down here across portions of Louisiana, reaching 90 degrees this afternoon. The cold front will put to bed our 80-degree highs today across Chicago. We're going to be down to 57 as we go into tomorrow afternoon. So a stark difference from today in the low 80s to the mid and upper 50s as we go into Saturday, April 19th, for places like Chicago and Detroit. And then the warm air will just continue across the southeast. Couple records possible. Nashville there, the Music City, eastward to Knoxville, upper 80s, 85, 88 degrees possible on Easter Sunday. That's where the warmth will be. The cooler air with the rain and low clouds, highs in the 50s there across the Midwest, like Des Moines, Madison, Green Bay, and Rockford, those areas. And then the Northeast sticking in the 40s as we go into Easter Sunday. Speaking of temperatures, going into next week, Monday, April 21st through Saturday, April 26th, the warmer temperatures will stick around, and spring-like air across the central and eastern United States will be out there. So if you're a fan of the warmer weather, that will continue continue into next week, and the warmer temperatures are going to cause a lot of storm energy to really start to build into the middle and late portion of next week, especially for the central plains, into the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. That could give us more opportunities for more heavy rain and flash flooding potential, but obviously more severe weather here. More of a subtle feature for severe weather across the central, southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley next week. No real big synoptic storm systems, but just kind of a dry line setup perhaps, or a warm front setup perhaps for some severe weather. Not really any big signs of any big outbreaks necessarily, and it'll be driven by some mesoscale features which won't be known until maybe sometimes the day of, or maybe just the day beforehand. So something to keep an eye on there for severe weather potential. As far as the rain front goes next week, we're going to be seeing the potential for a couple more inches of rain, especially further south you go into Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. That will stretch eastward into Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and even northern Georgia, and then spread up north toward the Midwest and the Ohio Valley as well. Now, going into the last few days of April, Saturday, April 26th through Thursday, May 1st, the warmer air actually starts to build even stronger across the plains, and the cooler air stronger across the west coast. And this is going to cause a more substantial clash of the air masses as we go into that time frame. Notice the instability more widespread, more north as well into the Midwest as we go towards the last few days of April, and that could give us some trouble in the form of a more widespread brand of severe weather, and maybe even an outbreak of severe weather as well. Those mesoscale convective systems that bring a good rush of wind, hail, heavy rain, the whole thing, and maybe even a couple of tornadoes will be possible. Going into the last few days of April, this is the 26th through May 1st, a couple areas of some heavier rain potential. First area up here towards portions of the northern Rockies and the northern plains, so Wyoming, Colorado, the Dakotas, Nebraska, up toward Minnesota. Secondary area near the Red River Valley in Oklahoma and Texas, and then a third area over here toward the eastern seaboard from East Tennessee into North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Some of these areas could be seeing some substantial rain during that time frame. We'll keep you updated certainly on that. So overall, between now and May 1st, look at all the rainfall we're going to be adding up to see out there, and it's going to be substantial. In the red, that's where we're talking at least 2 to 3 inches of rain. In the brown shaded colors, from St. Louis Metro down to Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Dallas, Fort Worth, Abilene, a lot of Texas, in fact, we're going to be seeing the potential for double-digit rainfall and perhaps 10 to as much as 12 inches. So yes, a foot of rain may be on the way there, and this could cause some significant flash flooding between now and May 1st across portions of the Lone Star State of Texas. And again, just to remind you, severe weather is still going to be in the picture as we go to the last few days of April. The reds here are showing the potential for an environment suitable for severe weather from Nebraska southward to Texas, parts of the Midwest like Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, and even southern Wisconsin could get in on some severe weather as well in the northern fringes as we go to the last few days here of this month. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for the latest accurate and reliable weather information, and I'll see you all in the next video.